this is Archie from Crafting with Archie, and welcome to this video. This is this cute little card we're making today. I love it with the foxy asleep there with her little baby. So cute. So let me show you what I did. I've got some scrap here first of all of Whisper White, and the stamp set we're going to be using is this one called Wildly Happy, and we use this little foxy here. Okay. And I'm going to be stamping it in some memento so I can colour in using my alcohol markers, the Stampin' blends. So let's just see. Hold it. Yep, that's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom you in bit more so you can see, and I'm going to be using really just two colours today, and that's the Cajun Craze Light and Dark, and of course my colour lifter. So I'm just going to start colouring in, starting off with my light, and I'm going to put you on fast forward with some music, and I'll be back at the end. Okay, so there we've coloured in our little foxy, and it'll dry a bit lighter as it dries, the alcohol dries out. And I'm going to cut him out using these oval dies, and let me see which one I used before. I think it was the next one in. Let's see, let's bring this here and see what I used. No, I used that one, and then I know I used the largest of the scallops as well. So I'm just going to put that through the big shot and I'll be back. So everything is cut out, so now we can stick one to the other. So just put a bit of snail on the back here, and then plonk it in the middle of this piece, trying to get it centered as much as possible, which I didn't before. Okay, and that will have to do. And then just to get ready, let's put some dimensionals on the back. And I've got here some of my ends, so which I love, as you know, so you're going to use those up. Like that. And then here we have a nice brand new sheet of dimensionals to use. That'll be enough, so set that aside, and we're going to need to do some more stamping. I should have done it before, but I just wasn't thinking straight today, unfortunately. And it's from the same stamp set, and there's this little one that says here, for you, and we're just going to stamp that like that. Okay, and put that aside, and then we're just going to bring in our classic label punch, if we can find it. It's on the floor. Here it is. And we're just going to cut out a piece from the Cajun Craze cardstock of that. And then we're just going to cut this, but we're going to cut this to the one side, so we're not going to cut it even. So it's going to look just like that. Okay. Dump that somewhere, and then I'm going to use here just a piece of post-it note tape, and I'm going to feed this back into my punch now, and I just want to punch out the other side. You've seen me do this before. Just get it straight if you can, and punch that out. Okay, so close up the punch. I always like to close up my punches for some reason after I've used it, and there you have your for you. We're just going to put a little bit of whatever this stuff is here, snail, on the back, and mat this in the middle here. Okay, there we go. Lovely jubbly. So set that aside too. And now we can do some assembling. And I have here my card base, which is Cajun Craze, and this is a standard A6 card base that measures, that's an A4 sheet cut in half and then folds in half. I've got here a piece of Whisper White, and then I've got here a piece of my Cajun Craze Designer Series paper, and this is just half a sheet of an A6 sheet. And I'm just going to try and, if possible, put it in the centre. Yeah, I think that's better though. This is not stuck down, so put a bit of that in there. And then we're just going to cut off the excess from the top here. And I did it that way because I didn't have any confidence that I would cut things to the same length, even though I meant to have done. I had no confidence in my measurements, so I find sometimes if you're scared about, you know, not cutting things precisely like that for a mat, sometimes it's easier to do exactly what I did, because then you know you're going to get it absolutely beautiful. So now we can assemble. We can stick our Foxy down, Mr. Fox. Did any of you watch when you were kids or always read the Fantastic Mr. Fox? I loved it. I remember as a kid, just go back, show my age again, I used to listen to Mr. Fox, the Fantastic Mr. Fox, on an LP. My father had, nowadays it would be an audiobook, but my father had bought an LP for me of the Fantastic Mr. Fox, and I used to listen to him on the LP. And I used to love it. Remember, there was a tune from it called Bogus Bunsen Bean. One fat, one short, one lean. These horrible crooks, so different in looks, but we equally horrid and mean. And I loved it, and I haven't forgotten it. It was just, part of growing up. I was happy memories of my father, you know, listening to Mr. Fox. Fantastic Mr. Fox. I used to love it. Anyway, stuck everything down. Now we're going to attempt to tie a bow with this crinkled white seam binding, and as you can see I'm not having a lot of success, so let's try again. We've got our two loopies, put one through the other. We have a version of a bow and we are sticking with it today because it's just not going to get much better than that. So, whoops, and I'm sending cardstock flying all over my desk as well. I'm sure you have days like this where everything goes bananas, but you know what, even if it's going bananas you can still make something pretty. It won't look that bad, I promise you. I mean, look at that, that doesn't look that bad, you know, come off it. I think it still looks cute. You know, and you can always tuck the ribbon behind if you wanted. You can cut it short, or I just tucked it behind like this, and I thought that was quite sweet, you know. So, finishing touches. We always have to have finishing touches. Some rhinestones. And I'm going to use these large ones down here. And I think I'm going to do it on this side this time. I'm just going to do a little run of 3. And there we go. And we're all done and dusted. So there you go. There's Mrs. Fox and little Foxy having a nice snooze, little slaapie as I call it in Afrikaans. So thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this project. I loved it. If you want information about this project, supply list, links to my online shop, etc., it'll be in the blog description box below. So thank you once again. If you did like it, I don't think I told you, I'd be grateful if you give it a thumbs up and let YouTube know, and don't forget to subscribe to future projects. So thank you once again, and bye bye.